Hi guys, it's Frankie from Frankie Tech. Good to see you guys again, and I'm here to share my brand new ANTUTU throttling test between the POCO F3, the OPPO Reno 6 Pro Plus, and the Honor 50 Pro. It's Snapdragon 870 versus the brand new 778G. Which one will come out on top? Let's have a look. So switched over to HD video, and here we see the ANTUTU benchmark and the CPU monitor in the background for these phones. And so quick rundown of the specs: we have the Snapdragon 870 on two of these phones, 8256, 12256, and then we have the brand new Snapdragon 778G here in this Honor 50 Pro. But beyond just having the CPU monitor in the background, we'll also be measuring the external temps of these phones with this awesome FLIR camera from the Ulefone Armor 11 5G. And the current temperature in the room is around 22.5 degrees. It should warm up though, because I just turned off the air. And you guys know the drill. We'll be doing 4 ANTUTU tests back to back. Here we see the previous results of these phones. Disregard them for now. We're going to get the baseline for this test shortly, and all the batteries are at 100%, so we'll be able to see the battery drain in this test as well. Let's go ahead and test again, and get started. Alright, test number 1 completed, and here are the results. 670,000, 710,000 on the 6 Pro Plus, 509,000 on the Honor 50 Pro. Now checking the CPU monitor for these phones. 44, 54, and 31 degrees. You saw there, so the Reno 6 Pro Plus definitely running a bit hotter than these two phones. And now let's check with the FLIR camera. 38.5, 43.4, definitely getting warm, and around 37.9, 38 degrees. So we're clearly seeing after test 1, the Reno 6 Pro Plus is definitely getting the hottest of the bunch. But here are the baseline scores, and let's see if the 6 Pro Plus can keep this going. Test number 2, here we go. Alright guys, test number 2 completed, and let's see the results. 668, 694, and 509. So we've seen a little bit of a drop here on the 6 Pro Plus, but the POCO F3 is holding its own, staying very close to its original score. Checking the CPU monitor for these phones, 57 degrees, 60 degrees, oh my gosh, and 43 degrees. So the 6 Pro Plus is definitely feeling the heat. And now checking with our FLIR camera, there we go, 40.5. And the Reno 6 Pro Plus is boiling, 46.7. And what about the Honor 50 Pro? It's getting up there, 40.5 degrees. All right, let's do it. Test number 3 coming up. Alright, test number 3 complete, and the Reno 6 Pro Plus finished pretty far ahead. 661,000, 694 on the Pro Plus 5G, and 498 on the Honor 50 Pro. Now checking the CPU monitor for these phones, 54 degrees, 58, scorcher, 45. And this makes me believe that the 778G definitely runs a lot cooler than even the Snapdragon 870. And now checking the external temps, 42.5, 47.5, 42.7 on the Honor 50 Pro. 27.4 degrees in this room. It is getting hot. But let's wrap up now with test number 4, the final test with these phones. Here we go. Alright, test number 4 completed, and the POCO F3 just wants to go to bed, and it's slipping and sliding everywhere. 651,000 on the POCO F3 though, a really great result, but the Reno 6 Pro Plus dipped down 649, so did the Honor 50 Pro. Test number 4 brought it to 442,000, incredible. Now let's go to the CPU monitor, 61 degrees on the POCO F3, 63 on the Reno 6 Pro Plus. That is super hot. 46 degrees on the Honor 50 Pro. And the last external temp measurement, 46.2, 50.9, 51 degrees, 45 on the Honor 50 Pro. And guys, it got really warm in this room, 28.4. Good gosh. I don't think you would typically run ANTUTU tests in this type of heat. And so we're done with the test now. I'm going to turn on the air because it is sweltering in here. And let's analyze these results and give the final verdict in this test. And let's start with the battery results. So after tabulating here on my iPad Pro, we have a third place finish for the Reno 6 Pro Plus. It dipped 20% at the end of this test. Then we have the POCO F3, which dipped 15% to 85, and the winner of the battery segment here is the Honor 50 Pro. It only dipped 13% in this test. But now let's go to it. In third place for this ANTUTU throttling test, there always has to be a third place, and in this case, dropping from 509,000 to 442, we have the Honor 50 Pro. Now look, there is a positive in the fact that this phone stayed the coolest of the bunch, but just by sheer numbers, we saw the largest drop on this Snapdragon 778G. Look, the Honor 50 Pro still has a terrific chipset. That being said though, guys, I still think the 778G is a promising chipset, albeit a little bit more underpowered than I initially expected it to be. And in second place, dipping from 710 to 649, a 61,000 point drop, is the OPPO Reno 6 Pro Plus. And let me tell you, the Snapdragon 870 on this performed beautifully in the first test. And the other thing to note is that this phone got the hottest of the bunch for sure. Now that could be due to the metallic edge, but just something to keep in mind that this phone does run hotter, but still a pretty solid showing for this OPPO Reno 6 Pro Plus. But there's one phone that dipped the least, only dropping 19,000 points from its original 670,000 start, and that is the POCO F3. And it did it beautifully in this test, while yes, getting hot as well, but it did manage to throttle the least of these phones. And once you combine the 15% battery drop and the overall performance, the POCO F3 delivers once again, and it shows it is the true ANTUTU throttling test champ currently on Frankie Tech. But hit me up in the comments. What are your thoughts on these results? And did the Snapdragon 778G impress you, or are you more impressed with the results of the Snapdragon 870 phones in this test? Hit me up in the comments. I'd love to hear about it. And that's it for this video. If you liked it, give me that thumbs up. And if you love the content of Frankie Tech, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell icon for future updates. Stay tuned, guys. More great comparisons, including my full camera test between these two phones and the Mi 11 Ultra, coming very soon. Stay tuned. So that's it. And this is where I leave you by saying, this is Frankie Tech signing off. Have a good one. Go to sleep, my babies. You deserve it.